Xin chào tất cả các bạn, lại tiếp tục series học tiếng Anh cùng cô Hải Yến. Thì tiếp tục cho buổi học ngày hôm nay thì chúng ta sẽ học phần 2, phần Unit 4. Unit 4. What's, what's the rule? Thì với bây giờ thì chúng ta sẽ đi vào phần 1, phần reading. Trong cái phần reading này thì bây giờ cô sẽ trong phần reading này thì bây giờ cô sẽ đọc qua bài, sau đó thì cô sẽ cho mọi người tìm hiểu bài nhá. Unit 4, what's the rule? When playing the game, the rule you have to decide what the values are going to be. Will you be someone who doesn't want strive for making? Or will you be someone who will do whatever it takes to enhance the chance for wearing their even desirable crown? Some citizens abide the laws, and some people make their own. Morality is the most complicated circumstance of the game, and there are many different ways to look at each moral dilemma. You can follow religious dictates, like law applies, or you can do whatever arises based only on your family, like the Lannister by the tribes, like the Dothraki. Or you can try to do what's right for other inhabitants of the world. You have free to choose any beliefs and any decisions you desire, but every decision will have a two consequence, and most often it lies to updates. People like Ned Stark and Stannis the rest to their face and look where fate brought them. If you choose to live a life of honor and justice, perhaps the people who choose to act selfless will have the overdue and can push the anger to the scope inside of you as well. They can do as they please. We are without an honor cause what's right and wrong. They will have the control the animal and therefore they always with the power of rule, and they rule with fear, so they must assess their power. But a girl named Dennis and her daughter tries into change thus. She will try to seize this power with justice, not with wealth. We shall be happy with someone more, not as they rule. Or will they also feel oppressed and inspired by those in power? Will the wild worker come and destroy everything so that nothing even matters? An answer to the question I still unknown. But the no ever makes something ever is very clear, and that's the only uncertainty in life is also. Unless you are Jon Snow, and death can even stop you enjoy the game of terror. Unit 4, what's the terror? When playing the game of terror, you have to decide what all the lays are going to be. Will you be someone who doesn't what's right and making? Or will you be someone who will do whatever it takes to enhance the chance of wearing the even desirable crown? Some citizens abide the law, and some people make their own. Morality is the most complicated correct stance of the game, and there are many different ways to look at the moral demeanor. You can follow the religion or the base, like the law applies, or you can do what is right based only the family, like the Lannister, or by the tribes, like a Dorothy, or you can try to what's right for other historians of the crowd world. There are peace to any police, and then decisions you desire. But every decisions will have a consequence, and most often it is life or death. People like Nestas and Stannis Barcelos too. They face to look where that's around them. If they choose to live a life of honor and justice, perhaps the people who choose and accept this which have a step over you and can put anger of their script inside of you as well. They can do as they please without an order cost what's right and wrong. They really control the minds and therefore they are vested with the power of truth and they rule with fear. So they must assess their power. But a girl named Destiny and her dragons and trying to change that. She will try to save the power with justice, not with wealth. We shall yes be happy with someone more. Now ask that rule. Or will they always feel oppressed or despised by those in power? Will the White Walker come and destroy everything so that nothing even matters? The answer to these questions are still unknown. But then Saul hasn't made something very clear, and that's the only assurance. It lies the death. Unless and Jon Snow. Then let's can't even stop now. Enjoy the game of stir. Unit 4. What's the rule? When playing the game of the rule, you have to decide what your values are going to be. Will you be someone who doesn't cross drive or McKinsey? Or you be someone who will do whatever it takes and has the chance of the wearing the even desirable crowd? Some citizens abide their law and some people make their oath more easy. It's the most complicated curriculum stance of the game, and there are many different ways to look at its moral dilemma. You can follow religions or disease, like the law applies, or you can do whatever what is right based only on the family, like the Lannister, or by the tribe, like the Dothraki, or you can try to what right for other is emphasis of the no worth. You are free to choose any belief and any decisions you desire. But every decision will have a consequence, and most often it's lies or death. People like Nestate and Stannis structure their fight and look their face around them. If they choose to lie lies of honest and justice, perhaps the people who choose to access easily will have to answer over and can put their answer of that goes inside of you as well. They can do as they please without an honor cost and what's right and wrong. We quasi control their animal and therefore they are vested with the power to rule, and they choose fear, so they must assist that power. But the girl named Dizzy and her dragons are trying to change us. She will try to say her power is justice, not with wealth. Will Celsius be happy with someone more, not as they is their ruler? Or will they always feel oppressed and defiled by those in power? Will the White Walker come and destroy everything? Does that nothing even matter? The answer to the question are still unknown, but the show has made something very clear, and that the only a situation in life is or death. Unless you are so snow, then this can even stop you. Enjoy the game of the rule. When play the game of the rules, you have to decide what your values are going to be. Will you be someone who doesn't what's right for making? Or will you be someone who will do whatever it takes to enhance the chance of being even desirable? Crowd, some citizens abide the law and some people make their own. Morality is the most complicated circumstance of the game, and there are many different ways to look at the moral dilemma. You can follow a reason that lies a love a lies, or you can do what is right based only on the family, like the landsness or by the tribes, like a dog police, or you can try and do what's right for the stability of the no world. You are free to choose any belief and any decisions you desire. But every decision will have a consequences. The most often it's like all this. People like Ned Stark and Stannis Butler show their face and look where their fate brought them. If you choose a life of honest and justice, perhaps the people who choose to act selfish will have anger over you and can put anger up there somewhere inside of your square. They can do as they please without an honor cost or what's right and wrong. The weather controls their animal, and therefore they are vested with the power to rule, and they rule with fear, so they must accept their power. But a girl named Destiny and her dragon are trying to change that. She will try to seize power with justice. We are not squid squares. We will be happy with someone more, not as the rule. Or will they always feel oppressed and destroyed by their inspired? Will the wild walker come and destroy everything? So what nothing even matter? The answer to this question is still a no. But the soul has made something very clear, and just the only assurance in life is all this. Unless you don't know, then this can even stop you. Enjoy the game of the rule. When playing the game of the rules, you have a decider. What your values are going to be? Will you be someone who doesn't what's right for making? Or will you be someone who will do whatever it takes to enhance the chance of wearing the ever desirable crown? Some citizens abide by the law, and some people make their own. Morality is the most complicated circumstance of the game, and someone makes their own. Moral labor is the most complicated stand of the game, and there may different ways to look at each moral dilemmas. You can follow as religions and disease, like the law applies, or you can do what's it right based only on your family, like the Lannister, or by the tribes, like adultery. Or you can try and do what's right for other inhabitants of the known world. You are free to choose any beliefs and any decision you desire, but every decision will have a consequence. And most often it is life or death. People like Ned Stark and Stannis Bastard choose their face and look whereas fast brought them. It is you to light of life, of honor and justice. Perhaps the people who choose and ask their feast will have the answer over you and can put their ego and their score inside of you as well. They can do as they please with their own cause and what right and wrong. The wealthy control the dynamo and therefore they are vested with the power to rule, and they rule with fear, so they must assess the power. Will the wild walker come and destroy everything, so does nothing even matter? The answer to these questions are still unknown, but the snow hasn't made something very clear, and that's the only assurance. It lies the death you let you as the snow. Then this can even stop you enjoy the game of through. Genius for what the through. When play the game of the rule you have to decide what the value are going to be. Will you be someone who doesn't what's right for making? Or will you be someone who will do whatever it takes to hands? The chance of wearing the even desirable crowd. Some citizens abide by the law, and some people make their own. Morality is the most complicated curriculum stand of the game, and there are many different ways to look at each moral dilemma. You can follow religion or teaches the law of life, or you can do whatever is right based only on your family's Lannister or by your choice, like the Dothraki, or you can try to what's right for other inhabitants of the Northwest. You are free to choose any belief and any decision you desire, but every decision will have a consequence, and most often it is life or death. People like Nesta and Stannis Lazarus through their face and look where for us without them is the truth to life of life, of honor and justice. Perhaps the people who choose to excel least will have to anger over and can put their angers, their goods inside of you as well. They can do as they please without an honor curse and what's right and wrong. The wealthy control their enemies and therefore they are vested with the power to rule and the rule with fear. So they must attest their power. But a girl named Destiny and her dragons are trying to change that. She will try to season power with us, not with wealth. Will God be happy with someone more, not their ruler? Or will they also feel oppressed and divided by their in power? Will the White Walker come to destroy everything, operate and despite to the power? Will the White Walker come and destroy everything, so that nothing even matter? The answer to these questions are still unknown. But the North have made something very clear, and that's not only assurance in life or in the death. Unless you are Jon Snow, then death can even stop. Enjoy your game and through. Thì đó là cái phần reading của chúng ta trong buổi học ngày hôm nay. Bây giờ cô sẽ cho mọi người thời gian để mọi người có thể xem qua bài. Sau đó thì cô sẽ đi vào phần 2, phần từ vựng của buổi học ngày hôm nay nhá. Bài dài này là cô mong mọi người có thể tập trung để học. Nếu có câu hỏi hay thắc mắc nào thì các em có thể comment ở phía dưới phần bình luận, cô sẽ trả lời nhé. Bây giờ thì chúng ta sẽ đi vào phần 2, phần từ vựng nhá. Vocabulary. Hôm nay thì chúng ta sẽ có những từ mới nào nhỉ? Abide, abide. Tuân theo. Assess. Khẳng định. Assurance. Chắc chắn. Believe. Believe. Niềm tin. Circumstance. Hoàn cảnh. Citizen. Người dân. Crowd. Vương miện. Deprive. Tước đoạt. Dilemma. Tình thế khó xử. Error. Bơ. Enhance. Enhance. Nâng cao. Inheritance. Cư dân. Less. Hợp đồng cho thuê. Mankind. Nhân loại. Moral. Đạo đức. Proximize. Gần. Religions. Tôn giáo. Dissident. Cư dân. Celestial. Che chở. Society. Xã hội. Terence. Phân hiền. Tribe. Bộ tộc. Vestige. Được phép. đây là toàn bộ từ mới ngày hôm nay của chúng ta. Thì bây giờ cô sẽ cho mọi người thời gian để mọi người có thể xem qua bài, sau đó thì cô sẽ chỉnh sửa phát âm cho mọi người nha. Bây giờ thì cô sẽ hướng dẫn mọi người cái phát âm của các từ ngày hôm nay nhé. Abide, abide, tuân theo. Assess, khẳng định. Assurance, chắc chắn. Believe, niềm tin. Surroundings, hoàn cảnh. Citizens, người dân. Crowd, vương miện. Deprive, được đoạt. Dilemma, tình thế khó xử. Ego, bơ. Enhance, nâng cao. Inhibitions, cư dân. Leaks, hợp đồng cho thuê. Markings, nhân loại. Moral, đạo đức. Proximus, guns. Religions, tôn giáo. Residence, cư dân. Shelter, gesture. Society, xã hội. Terrace, xuất hiện. Driver, bộ tộc. Vestige, được phép. Bây giờ thì cô sẽ đọc mỗi từ 3 lần và các bạn nghe theo và các bạn đọc theo nhé. Abide, 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 abide. Assess, assess, assess. Assurance, assurance, assurance. Belief, belief, belief. Circumstance, circumstance, circumstance. Citizens, 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 citizens. Crown, crown, crown. Deprive, deprive, deprive. Dilemma, dilemma, dilemma. Ego, 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 ego. Enhance, enhance, enhance. Inhabitant, inhabitant, inhabitant. Less, 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 less. Marking, 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 marking. More, 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 more. Proximities, 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 proximities. Relevant, relevant, relevant. Resident, resident, resident. Shelter, 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 shelter. Society, 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 society. Terrence, terrence, terrence. Tribe, tribe, tribe. Vestige, vestige, vestige. Advise, tuân theo. Assessed, assessed, khẳng định. Assurance, chắc chắn. Belief, niềm tin. Circumstance, hoàn cảnh. Citizens, người dân. Crowd, vương miện. Deprive, tước đoạt. Dilemma, tình thế khó xử. Ego, bơ. Enhance, enhance, nâng cao. Inhabitant, cư dân. Lease, hợp đồng cho thuê. Marking, nhân loại. Moral, đạo đức. Proximus, gần. Religion, tôn giáo. Residence, cư dân. Shelter, che chở. Society, xã hội. Terrence, xuất hiện. Tribe, bộ tộc. Vestige, được phép. Abide, abide, tuân theo. Assert, khẳng định. Assurance, chắc chắn. Believe, believe, niềm tin. Circumstance, hoàn cảnh. Citizen, citizen, người dân. Crowd, vương miện. Deprive, deprive, được đoạt. Diploma, diploma, tình thế khó xử. Ego, ego, bơ. Enhance, enhance, nâng cao. Inhabitant, inhabitant, cư dân. Lease, lease, hợp đồng cho thuê. Marking, marking, nhân loại. Moral, moral, đạo đức. Proximus, proximus, gần. Religion, religion, tôn giáo. resident, resident, cư dân, shelter, shelter, che chở, society, society, xã hội, terrence, terrence, xuất hiện, tribe, tribe, bộ tộc, vested, vested, được phép, abide, abide, tuân theo, assessed, khẳng định, assurance, chắc chắn, beliefs, niềm tin, circumstance, hoàn cảnh, citizens, người dân, crowd, vương miện, deprive, được đoạt, diploma, tình thế khó xử, ego, birth, enhance, nâng cao, inhabitant, cư dân, lease, hợp đồng cho thuê, mankins, nhân loại, moral, đạo đức, proximus, gần, religion, tôn giáo, residence, cư dân, shelter, che chở, society, xã hội, terrence, xuất hiện, tribe, bộ tộc, vestige, được phép. Thì đó là toàn bộ phần phát âm của các từ mới của ngày hôm nay. Thì bây giờ có thể cho mọi người thời gian để ôn lại phần từ mới, từ phần nghĩa, phần phát âm cũng như là nhớ từ. Sau đó thì chúng ta sẽ đi vào phần 3, phần translate. Tiếp tục với series học tiếng Anh thì bây giờ chúng ta sẽ sang phần 3, phần Translate. Trans. Thì trong phần này thì bây giờ cô sẽ đọc qua văn bản, sau đó thì cô sẽ cho mọi người thời gian để mọi người có thể tự dịch cái văn bản này hôm nay. Unit 4. What's the rule? When playing the game, the rules you have to decide what your values are going to be. Will you be someone who doesn't what's right for making, or will you be someone who will do whatever it takes to enhance the chance of winning their ever desirable grounds? Some citizens abide by the law, and some people make their own. Morality is the most complicated circumstance of the game, and there are many different ways to look at each moral dilemma. You can follow religious or ethics, like the law applies, or you can do whatever rights based only on the families like a Lannister, or by the tribal like the doctrines. Or you can try to do whatever right for other habitants of the known world. You are free to choose any belief and any decision you desire. But every decision will have a consequence, and most often it is life or death. People like Nestor and Stannis Barbaros choose their face to look west, fate browse them. If you choose to live a life of honor and justice, perhaps the people who choose to act selfish whichever ego over you and can put ego of that square inside of you as well. They can do as they please without an honor, cause what's right and wrong. They have the control of minds and therefore they are vegas with the power of to rule, and they rule with fear. So they must access their power. But the girl named Decides and her dragons are trying to change. She will try to seize the power with justice, not with wealth. Will Sociable be happy with someone more as the rule? Or will they also feel oppressed and privileged by those in power? Will the wild walker come and destroy everything, so that nothing even matters? The answer to this question I still know, but the soul has made something very clear, and that's the only assurance. It lies the death, unless you are don't know, then death can't even stop you inside the game of truth. Unit, Unit 4. Quarter through. When playing the game of the rules, you have to decide which the values are going to be. Will you be someone who does what's right and making? Or will you be someone who will do whatever it takes to enhance your chance of winning the ever desirable crowd? Some citizens abide by the law, and some people make their own. Morality is the most complicated circumstance of the game, and there are many different ways to look at each moral dilemma. You can follow religion or disease, like the law applies, or you can do what is right based only on your family, like a Lannister, or by the tribe, like a doctrine. Or you can try and do what's right for other inhabitants of the known world. You are free to choose any beliefs and any decisions you desire, but every decision will have a consequence, and most often it is life or death. People like Nestas and Stannis Barbaros choose their fate and look worth face brought them. If you choose to lie a lie of honor justice, perhaps the people who choose to act selfish will have their ego over you and can push their ego of their good inside of you as well. They can do as they please without an honor curse and God's dry and wrong. The wealthy control the mayor, and therefore they are vegas in the power to rule, and they rule with fear, so they must assess their power. But the game named the says and her dragon are trying to change that. She will try to seize power with justice, not with words. Instead, be happy with someone more, not as their ruler. Or will they always feel oppressed and deprived by those in power? Will the wild walker come and destroy everything, so that nothing even matters? The answer to this question is still unknown, but the soul has made something very clear, and that's the only assurance. In lions of death, you as don't know when death can even stop you. Enjoy the game of truth. When play the game of truth, you ever decide what your life are going to be. Will you be someone who doesn't start what's right for makings? Or will you be someone who will do whatever it takes to hand enhance your chance of winning the ever desirable crowd? Some citizens whatever it takes to enhance your chance of winning the ever desirable crowd. Some citizens abide by law, and some people make their crowd. Morally, is the most complicated circumstance of the game, and there are many different ways to look at each moral dilemma. You can follow religions or disease, like the law applies, or you can do what is right based only on your family, like the last minister, or by the tribes, like the Dothrikis, or you can try and do what's right for the inhabitants of the known world. You are free to choose any beliefs and any decisions you desire, but every decision will have consequences, and most often it's life or death. People like Nestas and Stannis Bachelors chill their face and look west for blossom, which if you choose to lie a life of honor and justice, perhaps the people who choose to act selfish will have to ego over you and can push their ego of that growth inside of you as well. They can do as they please without honor curse of what's right and wrong. The wealthy control the mind, and therefore they are vegas with their power to rule, and they rule with fear. So they must assess their power. But a girl named Isanis and her dragon are trying to change that. She will try to strengthen power with justice, not with words. You so sire be happy with someone more, not as the ruler. Or will they also feel oppressed and destroyed by the wind power? Will the White Walker come and destroy everything, so that nothing even matters? The answer to this question is still unknown, but the soul heaven makes something very clear, and thus draws the only assurance in life is or death, useless. Unless you are Jon Snow, then death can even stop you in your game of the rule. You need role. When playing the game of the rules, you have to decide what the value are going to be. Will you be someone who doesn't what's right for making? Or will you be someone who will do whatever it takes to enhance the chance of wearing the ever desirable crown? Some citizens abide by the law, and some people make their own. Morality is the most complicated circumstance of the game, and there are many different ways to look at each moral dilemma. You can follow a religion of deity, like the law applies, or you can do what's right based only on your family, like a Lannister, or by the tribe, like a Dorothy, or you can try and do what's right for other inhabitants of the world. You are free to choose any beliefs and any decisions you desire, but every decision will have a consequence, and most often it's life and death. People like Ned Stark and Stannis Bachelors choose their faith and look where first brought them. If they choose to live a life of honor and justice, perhaps the people who choose to act selfish will have an ego over you and can push the ego of that growth inside of you as well. They can do as they please without an honor code in what's right and wrong. The wealthy control the minds and therefore they are weakest with the power to rule, and they rule with fear, so they must access their power. But a girl named Descendis and her dragon are trying to change that. She will try to seize the power with justice, not with wealth. Will society be happy with someone more? Not as the rule. Or will they always feel oppressed and deprived by those in power? Will the white worker come and destroy everything? Does that nothing even matter? The answers to these questions are still unknown. But the soul has made something very clear, and that's the only assurance in life is no death. Unless you are just know, then death can even stop you inside the game of terror. You need power. When playing the game of terror, you have to desire what the value are going to be. Will you be someone who doesn't just what's right for making? For will you be someone who will do whatever it takes to enhance the chance of growing the ever desirable crowd? Some citizens abide by the law, and some people make the crowd make their own. Morality is the most complicated circumstance of the game, and there are many different ways to look at each moral dilemma. You can follow religions of deity like the law of light, or you can do what is right based only on your family, like the Lannister, or by the tribe, like a Dorothy, or you can try and do what's right for other inhabitants of the Northwest. You are free to choose any belief and any decision you desire, but every decision will have a consequence, and most often it's like a death. People like Ned Stark and Stannis Bastard through their face and look worse without them. If you choose to live a life of honor and justice, perhaps the people who choose to act selfish will have the ego over you, and can put the ego and their secret inside of you as well. They can do as they please without an honor code and what's right and wrong. The wealthy control the mind, and therefore they are weakest with the power to rule, and they rule with fear. So they must assess their power. But a girl named Designist and her dragon are trying to change that. She will try to seize power with justice, not with wealth. Will those people be happy with someone more, not as their ruler? Or will they always feel oppressed and divide the other in power? Will the white worker come and destroy everything, so that nothing even matters? The answer to the question are still unknown, but the Sahara makes something very clear, and that's the only assurance in lies the death. unless you are just know. Then that can even stop you. Enjoy the game of through. When playing the game of through, you have to decide what the values are going to be. Will you be someone who doesn't watch right and for makings? Or will you be someone who will do whatever it takes to enhance the chance of wearing the ever desirable crowd? Some citizens abide by the law, and some people make their own. Morality is the most complicated circumstance of the game, and there are many different ways to look at each moral dilemma. You can follow a religion's orthodoxy, like the law of light, or you can do what's right based only on the family like the Lannister, or by the tribes like the Dorothy. Or you can try and do what's right for other exhibitions of the no war. You are free to choose any belief and any decisions. Duty rise, but every decision will have a consequence. And most often it is like this. People like Ned Stark and Stannis Baratheon choose their fate and look. Well, let's browse them. If you choose to live a life of honor and justice, perhaps the people who choose to act selfish will have their ego over you and can put their ego of theirs good inside of them as well. They can do as they please with our own accord and what's right and wrong. The wealthy control the army and therefore they are blessed with the power to rule, and they rule with fear, so they must accept their power. But the good name designer and her dragon are trying to change that. She will try to seize the power with justice, not good grace. Will societies be happy with someone more known as their rule? Or will they always feel oppressed and deprived as though up in power? Will the White Walker come and destroy everything? Does that nothing even matter? The answer to the question are still unknown. But the snow has made something very clear, and that's the only assurance in life or in the death. Unless you are Jon Snow, when death can even stop you. Enjoy the game of through. When playing the through, you have to decide what the values are going to be. Will you be someone who was right for making? Or will you be someone who will do whatever it takes to enhance the chance for wearing the ever desirable crown? Some citizens abide by the law, and some people make their own. Morality is the most complicated circumstance of the game, and there are many different ways to look at each moral dilemma. You can follow a religions or deity, like the law of life, or you can do what's right based only on the family, like the Lannister, or by the tribe, like the Dorothy, or you can try on and do what's right for other inhabitants of the known world. You are free to choose any belief and any decisions you desire, but every decision will have a consequence, and most often it is life or death. People like Ned Stark and Stannis Baratheon choose their face and look where fast brought down. If they choose to live a life of honor and justice, perhaps the people who choose to act selfish will have the ego overdue and can put the ego of their growth inside of you as well. They can do as they please without an honor cause and what's right and wrong. The wealthy control their army and therefore they are the with the power to rule, and they is ruler with fear, so they must accept their power. But the girl named Designers and her dragon are trying to change that. She will try to say the powers with justice, not with wrath. Will socialists be happy with someone mourned as their tool? Or will they always feel oppressed and deprived by those in power? Will the white worker come and destroy everything so that nothing even matters? The answer to the question is still unknown, but the soul has made something very clear, and that's the only assurance. In life or death, you let you others know, then death can't even stop you. Enjoy the game of the rule. Thì đó là cái phần cô đã đọc qua bài thì bây giờ cô sẽ cho mọi người thời gian để mọi người có thể tự dịch cái văn bản này. Sau đó thì cô sẽ chữa bài nhá. Bây giờ thì cô sẽ chữa bài của ngày hôm nay nha. Unit 4. Water stir. Cánh chân ngái bầu. When plays a game of stir, you have to decide what the values are going to be. Khi tham gia trò chơi vững quyền, bạn phải quyết định giá trị bản thân mình là gì. Will you be someone do what was right for making, or will you be someone who will do whatever it takes to enhance the chance for winning the ever desirable ground? Bạn sẽ là một người làm điều đúng đắn cho nhân loại, hoặc là bạn sẽ là người bất chấp mọi thứ để nâng cao cái cơ hội để được đổi chiếc vương miện mọi người thèm khát. Some citizens abide the law, and some people make their own. Morality is the most complicated circumstance of the game, and there are many different ways to look. I tell moral dilemma. You can follow a religion of daisies, like a law of lies, or you can do what's right basis only on top family like the landless or by the tribes like the Dorkies, or you can try and do what's right for all the inhabitants of the North. You are free to choose any belief and any decision you desire. But every decision will have a consequence, and most often it is life or death. People like Nestas and Stannis Masters too. Their way and looks great very proud them. Một số thì một số người một số người dân tuân theo pháp luật, trong khi số khác sống theo luật riêng của họ. Đạo đức Đạo đức trong mọi hoàn cảnh phức tạp nhất của là trò chơi. Có nhiều cái khác nhau để xem xét từng tình thế khó xử. Về đạo đức, bạn có thể nghe theo một cái tôn giáo và thân thánh như lãnh chúa ánh sáng. Hoặc bạn có thể làm những gì tốt nhất cho gia đình mình như gia tộc Lannister, hoặc là bộ tộc mình giống như Dothraki, hoặc bạn có thể là thử làm những điều đúng đắn cho mọi cái cư dân trên thế giới. Bạn được tự do lựa chọn bất kỳ cái niềm tin và đưa ra bất kỳ quyết định nào bạn muốn. Nhưng mọi quyết định đều sẽ dẫn đến kết quả và thường là vấn đề sống hay chết. Những người như Ned Stark và Stannis Baratheon đã tự lựa chọn số phận của họ, và hãy xem số phận đã dẫn họ đến đâu. It is true to live a life of honor and justice. Perhaps the people who choose to act selfish will have the ego overdue and can put the ego and that's what's inside of you as well. They can do as they please without an honor code and what's right and wrong. Nếu bạn sống một cuộc đời cho danh dự và công lý, có lẽ những hành động ích kỷ có sẽ hơn bạn và có khả năng sẽ giết chết bạn. Họ có thể làm những gì họ muốn mà không quan tâm điều gì là đúng hay là sai. The way they control our minds, and therefore they are vexed with the power to rule, and they rule with fear, so they must assess their power. But the girl named Danis and her dragon and try to change that. You try to seize power with justice, not with wealth. Người giàu sẽ kiểm soát quân đội và nhờ đó họ có được quyền lực để cai trị sự sợ hãi. Vì vậy họ phải là khẳng định được cái quyền lực của họ. Nhưng có một cô gái mang tên là Danes cùng với những con rồng của mình đang nỗ lực thay đổi điều đó. Cô sẽ giành lấy quyền lực một cách công bằng, chứ không phải là nhờ sự giàu có. We shall be happy with someone more of as their rule. Or will they always feel oppressed and derised by those in power? Will the White Walker come and destroy everything, so that nothing even matters? The answer to the question is still unknown, but just now Hazel makes something very clear, and that's the only assurance in lying to death. Unless you are just now, then death can even stop you into the game of the rule. Xã hội Xã hội liệu có hạnh phúc hơn khi những người cai trị là những kẻ quý tộc, hay mọi người sẽ cảm thấy bị những người cầm quyền ép bức và tước đoạt mọi thứ có ý nghĩa thì không, khi mà đội quân bóng trắng sẽ đến tiêu diệt tất cả? Vẫn chưa có câu trả lời cho những câu hỏi này. Tuy nhiên có một điều rõ ràng là chắc chắn duy nhất trong cuộc sống, đó là cái chết. Từ khi bạn là Jon Snow thì cái chết cũng không thể ngăn nổi bạn. Hãy cùng thưởng thức trò chơi vương quyền. Thì đó là phần dịch văn bản của cô. Sau khi cô dịch thì cô sẽ đọc lại cái văn bản này một lần nữa. Sau đó thì chúng ta sẽ chuyển sang phần speaking nha. Unit 4 was the rule. When play the game of the rule, you have to decide what the values are going to be. Will you be someone who doesn't squat dry for making? Or will you be someone who will do whatever it takes to enhance your chance of growing the even desirable crowd? Some citizens abide by the law, and some people make their own. Morality is most complicated circumstance of the game, and there are many different ways to look at each moral dilemma. You can follow a religion of deity, like the law of life, or you can do what's right based only on the for other inhabitants of the known world. You are free to choose any belief and, and any decision and desire. But every decision will have a consequence, and most often it is life or death. People like Ned Stark and Stannis Baratheon choose their fate and look what's brought them. If you choose to live a life of honesty and justice, perhaps the people who choose to act selfish will have their ego over you, and can put the ego of their snow inside of their as well. They can do as they please without on a cause of what's right and wrong. The greater control my enemy, and therefore, as they resist with the power to rule, and they rule with fear. So they must accept their power. But the girl named Designers and her dragons are trying to change us. She will try to seize the power with justice, not with quest. With society be happy with someone, none of us does their rule, or will they have always feel oppressed and deprived by those in power? Will the white walk come and destroy everything, so that nothing even matters? The answer to this question is still unknown, but the soul ever makes something very clear, and that's the only assurance in life is not death. Unless you are just now, then death can even stop you. Enjoy the game of through. Unit 4 was the through. When playing the game of through, you have to decide what the overlays are going to be. Will you be someone who doesn't what's right for making, or will you be someone who will do whatever it takes to enhance your chance for growing the ever desirable crowd? Some citizens abide by the law, and some people make their own. Morality is the most complicated circumstance of game, and there are many different ways to look at the moral dilemma. You can follow a religion or disease, like the law of lies, or you can do what's right based on your family, like the Lannister, or by the tribes, like the Dorothy, or you can try and what's right for other inhabitants of the known world. They are free to choose any beliefs and any decision you derive, but every decision will have a consequence, and most often it lies or dear. People like Ned Stark and Stannis Bastard choose their face and look. Where fast all down, if you choose to live a life and honor and justice, perhaps the people who choose to act selfish will have an ego overdue. It can put the ego of their square inside of you as well. They can do as they please without an honor cost of what's right and wrong. The wealthy can turn on nice, and therefore they are vexed with the power to rule, and they rule with fear, so they must accept their power. But the girl named Designist and her dragon are trying to change that. She will try to seize the power with justice, not with words. Will society be happy with someone more known as their rule? Or will they also feel oppressed and deprived by those in power? Will the White Walker come and destroy everything, so that nothing even matters? The answers to these questions are still unknown, but the show have made someone very clear, and that only assurance in life is the death. The less you others know, then death can even stop you in the game of through. When playing the game of throws, you have also decide what the values are going to be. Will you be someone who doesn't rise, who, who does what's right for making, or you be someone who will do whatever it takes to enhance the chance for wearing the ever desirable crowd? Some citizens abide the law, and some people make their own moralities. Is most complicated circumstance of the game, and there are many different ways to look at each moral dilemma. You can follow a religious or deity, like a law of life, or you can do what's right based only on the family, like the Elanese, or by the tribes, like the Dorothy. Or you can try and do what's right for other inhabitants of North World. You are free to choose any beliefs and any decisions you, you derive, but every decision will have a consequence. And most of these lie or death. People like Ned Stark and Stannis Bastard choose their faith and look what the flesh below them. If you choose a life of honor and justice, perhaps the people who choose to act selfish will have the ego over you, and can put the ego of that good inside of you as well. They can do as they please with our inner honor, good and what's right and wrong. The worthy control the animal, and therefore they are vexed with the power to rule, and they rule with fear, so they must assess their power. But the girl named Danis and her dragon are trying to change that. They will try to seize power with justice, not with wealth. Will society be happy with someone more noble as their rule? Or will they always feel oppressed and deprived by those in power? Will the White Walkers come and destroy everything, so that nothing even matters? The answer to these questions are still unknown, but the show have made something very clear, and that the only assurance in life is not death. to let you don't know, then this can even stop you enjoy the game after all. Thì chúng ta đã đi sang phần translate của ngày hôm nay, thì bây giờ cô sẽ cho mọi người thời gian để mọi người có thể ôn lại và đối chiếu cái kết quả của cô và các bạn. Nếu mà có thắc mắc hay là một câu hỏi bất kỳ nào thì các em có thể comment ở phía dưới bình luận thì cô sẽ giải đáp nhá. Còn bây giờ thì cô sẽ cho mọi người thời gian để xem lại bài. Sau đó thì chúng ta sẽ chuyển sang phần thứ tư của ngày hôm nay, phần speaking. Trong phần speaking thì cô sẽ chưa phát âm cho mọi người trong toàn bộ cái bài ngày hôm nay. Cô mong là mọi người sẽ tập trung chú ý lắng nghe nhá. Vì là thực sự là bài hôm nay khá là một cái bài khá là khó, nên cô rất là mong mọi người có thể tập trung để lắng nghe. Bây giờ thì chúng ta sẽ đến với phần thứ tư của buổi học ngày hôm nay, phần speaking. Trong phần speaking này thì bây giờ con sẽ đọc và chữa luôn phát âm cho mọi người nhé. Unit 4. What are the rules when playing the game of the rules? You ever decided what the rules are going to be? Chúng ta nhớ nhớ chú ý âm trơ và âm. Will you be someone who doesn't was Ryan McKinney? Or will you be someone who will do whatever it takes? Comes to enhance your chance of wearing the ever discoverable crown. Some citizens advise the law, and some people make their own. Morality is most complicated circumstance of the game, and there are many different ways to look at each more deep learner. You can follow religions or deity like a lord of light, or you can do what's right based only on the family, like the Lannister, or by the tribe, like the Dothraki, or you can try and do what's right for other inhabitants of the now world. You are free to choose any belief in any decisions you desire. But every decision will have. Có âm đối nhá, have. Ta sẽ có, bình thường chúng ta sẽ đọc chữ là have. Nhưng mà bây giờ thì nếu mà âm đối thì chúng ta sẽ đọc là will have. Confident, consequence. And most often it's life or death. Cái âm cuối nó rất là quan trọng. Ví dụ như chúng ta có thể nói từ might. Bình thường chúng ta sẽ đọc là might. Thì cái âm mic, thì cái âm cuối nó sẽ là cái điểm để chúng ta có thể phân biệt giữa từ này với từ kia. Ví dụ như bình thường chúng ta sẽ đọc my, ba chữ này thì chúng ta sẽ đọc là my. Nhưng mà thực ra chúng ta sẽ đọc là mice và Mike. Thì cái âm cuối nó rất là quan trọng đấy. People like Ned Stark and Stannis Bastard choose their faith. Như ví dụ như chữ faith này chúng ta sẽ có fate. Thì bây giờ là ta có chữ faith. And look words faith browse them. If you choose to live a life. Giống như hiện trạng của cái từ này, ví dụ như là câu này nhá. If you choose to live nghĩa là sống, còn life là cuộc sống. Life tức là sống, một cái cuộc sống. Đấy. Life, a life, danh từ và động từ đó. Of honor and justice, perhaps the people who choose to act selfishly will have an ego over you and can put their egos of their self inside of you as well. They can do as they please without honor. Chữ honor này bình thường chúng ta sẽ gọi, bình thường nếu mà những người nào mà không biết phát âm ấy, họ sẽ đọc là honor. Nhưng mà cái âm hát ở đấy của nó sẽ là bị âm cấm. Nên chúng ta đọc honor giống như chữ trung thực là honestly. Đấy. Honor goes and what's right and wrong. Chữ wrong này nó cũng là âm cấm. Chữ W nó bị cấm đi. Nó không được phát âm ở đây. The world controls their minds and therefore they are vegas with their power to rule. And they rule with fear. so they must accept their power. But the girl named the scientist and her dragons are trying to change that. She will try to seize power with justice, not with growth. Will society be happy with someone's monarch as their ruler? Or will they always fear oppressive and deride it though just though there taking though power không phải là there mà là power. Will the White Walker come and destroy everything so that nothing even matters? The answer to their questions are still unknown, but the soul ever makes some things ever smart, ever clear, and that's the only assurance in life is not death. Unless you are don't know, then death can't even stop you in the game of the rule. Thì đó là chúng ta sẽ đọc xong cái phần speaking phần 4 của ngày hôm nay. Thì bây giờ cô sẽ đọc lại bài cho các em, sau đó thì cô sẽ cho mọi người thời gian để mọi người có thể xem lại bài nhá. Unit 4 was the rule. When playing the game of the rules, you have to decide what the beliefs are going to be. Will you be someone who does what's right for making? Or will you be someone who will do whatever it takes to enhance the chance of wearing the ever desirable crown? Some citizens abide the law, and some people make their own. Morality is the most complicated circumstance of the game, and there are many different ways to look at each other disclaimer. You can follow a religion or disease, lies the law applies. Or you can do what's right based only on your family, like the Lannister, or by the tribes, like the Dutchy. Or you can try and do what's right for other inhabitants of the known world. You can free to choose any that believes in any decision you desire, but every decision will have a consequence. And most often it is life or death. People like Ned Stark and Stannis battle through their face and look towards the way around them. If you choose to lie and life of honor justice, perhaps people who choose to act selfishly will have an ego over you and can put the ego up there so what's inside of you as well. They can do as they please without honor cause of what's right and wrong. Their greatly controls their enemy and therefore they are resist with the power to rule. And they rule with fear, so they must accept their power. But a girl named the Chinese and her dragon are trying to change that. She will try to seize the power with justice, not with words. Will society be happy with someone more not as their rule? Or will they always feel opposition and deprived by those in power? Will the White Walker come and destroy everything so that nothing ever matters? And answer to their question are still unknown, but does not ever make something every clear, and that's the only assurance in life is not death. Unless you as does know, then death can even stop you enjoy the game of the rule. Thì cô đã xong phần speaking của chúng ta trong ngày hôm nay. Bây giờ cô sẽ cho mọi người thời gian để mọi người có thể ôn lại bài. Nếu mà mọi người có thắc mắc hay là câu hỏi nào thì mọi người có thể comment ở phía dưới phần bình luận là cô sẽ giải đáp nhé. Buổi học hôm nay của chúng ta sẽ kết thúc tại đấy nhé. Nếu mà các bạn có câu hỏi hay là thắc mắc gì, các bạn có thể comment ở phía dưới phần bình luận thì cô sẽ giải đáp luôn nhé. Bây giờ thì chúng ta cũng đã đi hơn được một nửa chặng đường rồi. Cô rất là cảm ơn mọi người đã xem video của cô. Bây giờ thì cô sẽ chào tạm biệt các bạn nhé. Hẹn là gặp lại vào buổi học phía sau nhé.